I'm ranking every first baseman in Major League Baseball for the 2026 season. Welcome back to day number 2 of the 12 days of MLB rankings, where I rank every player from every position for every team for the 12 days leading up to Christmas, ending with my top 50 players in Major League Baseball ranking on Christmas Day. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of that content. Drop a like on the video and let me know in the comment section what you're thinking. Let's get to the video. Getting the rankings started at number 32, we've got Troy Johnston, first baseman of the Colorado Rockies. There's not much to go off. He had 100 plate appearances last year, did pretty well in Miami with the Marlins, 4 home runs, 331 on base, 420 slugging, 751 OPS. He's got a nice left-handed swing. The stuff looks decent. He's an older player getting really his first shot. If there's ever a place where he'll be able to hit, it's Coors. Maybe it's not fair, but Johnston starting the video off at number 32. Next up at number 31, I've got Eric Wagaman of the Miami Marlins. Eric Wagaman. I'm not sure how much first base Wagaman will end up truly playing for the Marlins, but there is something interesting there. He does have great bat speed. He does hit the ball hard. He just simply needs to hit the ball more consistently in the air, and there might be a breakout eventually coming for Wagaman. Last year, he had 500 plate appearances, the most of his career, 9 home runs, a 250 average with a 296 on base, 378 slugging, 674 OPS. But again, that max exit velo was 114.5 in the top 8% of Major League Baseball, something to keep an eye out for. Getting the top 30 started at number 30, I've got Lenyn Sosa of the Chicago White Sox. Right now is the projected first baseman despite being a middle infielder for his career. I'm not really sure what to do with Lenyn. He actually was okay last year. The numbers aren't great. I mean, he walked 3% of the time, but he did hit 22 home runs, a 727 OPS. The on base was still under 300 though, which is not particularly great. And towards the end of the season, he really did fall off. Maybe moving to first base will help his bat, even though there's a lot of kind of weird things going on there with the chase and the lack of walk. But being able to hit 20 home runs in a season, that's decent, at least to not be the lowest ranked first baseman. For the 29th best first baseman in baseball, Jake Burger of the Texas Rangers. What a disappointing season for Burger last year. I mean, everything in Texas was, but really thought Burger was going to be able to shine in Texas. Another bat speed barrel king. He did get better towards the end of the season, and again, I might eat crow with this one, but he was really horrible, and it's hard to put a guy who doesn't ever get on base, chases a ton, much higher on this list because the variance of his performance is so reliant on batted ball luck at times. Because last year, 376 plate appearances, 16 homers, 236 average, 269 on base, 419 slugging for a 688 OPS. Probably a little bit harsh. I don't think he's that bad of a player, but the fact that he still doesn't walk, plays bad defense at first, it's hard for me to rank him much higher, even though I think that he will bounce back. Things just kind of have to go perfect. Heading out to Minnesota at number 28, we've got Cody Clemens. Cody Clemens, projected first baseman right now for a very bad Minnesota Twins lineup, but when he got to Minnesota, he actually played really well for a bit. In 112 games, hit 19 homers, 52 RBIs, a 216 average, 284 on base, 442 slug for 725 OPS. Clemens is more of a utility player, and yes, he is the Rockets' son, but he does bring good defensive value at multiple positions. He gets on base enough, hit the ball pretty well last year, good barrel rates, and hit it in the air. If he's doing that in Minnesota, he can be successful. And again, number 28. Not sure how many more times I'll be ranking him, but at number 27, I've got Paul Goldschmidt. Last year wasn't terrible for the Yankees, but let's be honest, Paul Goldschmidt is a platoon first baseman now. Going into his 38-year-old season, just doesn't really have the same oomph he once had. Last year with the Yankees, 146 games, 10 homers, 31 doubles, 45 RBIs, hitting 274 with a 328 on base, 403 slugging for a 731 OPS, and an OPS plus that was 4% above league average at 104. All this stuff tells you that he's a completely fine hitter. Again, probably more average than power now, and I do think he will be on a major league roster. It's just, I don't know if you feel comfortable with him being your everyday first baseman, getting 500, 600 plate appearances anymore. But Paul Goldschmidt, what a beast, what a great player. Just missing on the top 25 at number 26, I've got Gavin Sheets of the San Diego Padres. Sheets is kind of ish a man without a position. Honestly, he's best suited at DH, but right now he's slotted in to be the projected first baseman for the Padres, and he does mash right-handed pitching. Last season, 145 games, 19 homers, 28 doubles, 71 RBIs, hitting 252 with a 317 on base, 429 slugging for a 746 OPS plus at 105. What makes the first base position tough to get higher ranked is that everybody hits, so you have to be an exceptional hitter to really find yourself higher on these rankings. Along with the fact that he's not really great in the field and is more of a platoon guy, I do have to keep Gavin Sheets just outside the top 25. Because getting the top 25 started at number 25, we finally got him higher, Andrew Vaughn of the Milwaukee Brewers. Vaughn stunk it up with the White Sox so bad that they cut him, and then he went to the Brewers and went absolutely ballistic. Vaughn played 64 games with the Brewers last year, 9 homers, 14 doubles, 46 RBIs, hitting .308 with a .375 average, .493 slug for an .869 OPS, OPS plus at 141. I don't think he's a 141 OPS plus guy. I don't think he's a near 900 OPS guy, but he was a former top pick. He's always had the underlying stuff that makes you think he'll hit better, and as soon as he got out of the White Sox org, he got significantly better. So I think he's a slightly better than league average hitter at first base, and they even had him playing good defense at the position, so definitely give him some love. Top 25. Another guy, though, you still kind of want to play in a platoon. Down 7 spots at number 24, not signed to a team, Luis Arias. Listen, I think we're at a point where we're probably underrating Luis Arias just because he's an average merchant. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just when he doesn't hit 350, he's not really that valuable player, because last year, 292 average, 327 on base, 719 OPS for an OPS plus at 99. For a guy who can't play the field well, doesn't run the bases well, doesn't have that much pop, it's tough to rank him, especially at the first base position where you gotta hit for a little more oomph. When he's hitting 350, when he's hitting 320, yes, tons of value. Nobody's denying that. But if he's not, you can see the issues with Arias and the fact that teams are just not scared to throw to him. He seems to be obsessed with never striking out. Only struck out 21 times last year in 675 plate appearances. Kind of crazy, but there's just not enough damage being done. Still, I think he is top 25 at the position. Coming in at number 23, I've got Spencer Steer of the Cincinnati Reds. Now, Steer last season was phenomenal defensively at the position, and it does make sense. He's always been a good athlete, was a former middle infield prospect. The problem with Steer is at the plate, he's just extremely inconsistent. While he did put up 20 homers and 20 doubles with 75 RBIs this year, it's more just because he hits in Cincinnati in that lineup. 238 average, 312 on base, 411 slug for an OPS at 723, OPS plus at 94. He's basically a league average hitter at this point with a great glove, but that glove has value. He runs the bases well, good athlete. He's a perfect fit for that ballpark, but you take him out of Cincinnati, I do get a little bit more worried, but he's there, so we're not going to get worried. Put him at number 23. Up a couple spots at number 22, I've got Nolan Schanuel of the Los Angeles Angels. Schanuel is kind of Luis Arias adjacent. The reason I rank him higher, even though they have relatively similar skill sets, Schanuel has more power. Schanuel gets on base more. Schanuel is much better in the field as well. Still not great, but much better. Another guy who doesn't strike out a ton, doesn't whiff at all, doesn't hit the ball particularly hard, but still has hit it hard enough to hit a bunch of home runs, 12 last season, and he does get on base a ton. His plate discipline's phenomenal, where Arias will always kind of go out of the strike zone to try and drop in singles. Schanuel's huge, so I got to imagine there's power somewhere, and last year he did put up the highest exit velo of his entire career at almost 110. That's not exceptional, but that's way better than where it was. Really hope the Angels can get him to hit for a little bit more power, because his plate discipline's great. Now just take those pitches in the zone and do some damage, Nolan. Could be a really good player for them. Just missing on the top 20, at number 21, I've got Pavin Smith of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm like kind of finding myself liking Pavin Smith more and more every time that I look at him. He hits the ball really hard. He walks a ton. He doesn't chase, even though he does whiff a lot. So he's swinging in the zone, swinging and missing, but when he makes contact, he hits it well, and he puts the ball in the air. These are all things that kind of make me think he could have a breakout if the Diamondbacks play their cards right. Like, play him against righties, let him mash there. He's a former, again, top 10 pick in the draft. He is a good ball player. He's just never really gotten the opportunity, and now for a Diamondbacks team that looks to be rebuilding, maybe this is the year Pavin Smith can finally break out at age 29. Getting the top 20 started at number 20, Pittsburgh Pirates first baseman Spencer Horwitz. Horwitz was low-key awesome for the Pirates last year. Kind of exactly what they wanted. Now, would I prefer it at a different position if he played second base with these numbers? Yes, but he's their first baseman right now, might be their first baseman on opening day. That's not a problem, because in 108 games, 11 homers, 26 doubles, 51 RBIs, great counting numbers, 272 average, 350 on base, 434 slugging for a 787 OPS and an OPS plus at 118. Low-key, over the last 2 seasons, we've seen Horwitz get 800 plate appearances and be a 121 OPS plus guy. I might even be underrating him. There's a world where he could climb his way kind of into the middle of the pack more here. Really interested to see what we get out of Horwitz for a full season, but he was great for the Pirates last year and should get a lot of playing time moving forward. One of the biggest droppers in today's video at number 19, Tristan Casas. This might be kind of ridiculous for me to do, but there's a weird vibe around Casas, man. One, he's always getting hurt. I know it's not his fault, but he's always getting hurt. And then 2, it seems like the Red Sox are trying to find any possible way to not play him at first base. That being said, if he's healthy and becomes the player that we know he can, because there is some just weird stuff with him, he's really good. The power is great. The on base is great. He's a pretty good first baseman. I had him ranked 9th last year. This year he's down to 19 just because it seems like there's so much negativity around him. But if he's healthy, I could totally see him being a borderline top 10 first baseman baseman again at some point. Just need to see it. Big drop down, the biggest, at number 18, Christian Walker of the Houston Astros. Woof, what a horrible year Christian Walker had in Houston. 97 OPS plus, that's almost 30 points lower than where it's been the last few seasons. 27 homers, 24 doubles, 88 RBIs doesn't sound bad, but the average was down. The on-base was below 300 last year. The slugging was at 421, OPS 717, but barrel rates are still good. He's just not really getting on base. Not walking. Still plays good defense at first, which is why I have him still not super far down despite having a horrible year. Maybe it's just learning how to play in Minute Maid, being different, trying to pull the ball as much as he was. It's a really good hitter. Maybe this is also just him being 34, 35 years old. I don't know. Astros got to stop signing these old first basemen. They feel cursed. That being said, Walker down 12 spots at 18. At number 17, real quick, Kazuma Okamoto. Don't know what team he's going to sign for, but he's going to be playing first base this year. Coming over from the MPB, he's a guy who's hit 30 plus home runs a year out in Japan before, an OPS around the 800 to 900 range, gets on base a good amount, doesn't strike out. He's a solid little player. It's hard to judge what he would do at the major league level, but based on what we've seen similar hitters do, I think he will be this kind of middle of the pack first baseman at the major league level. Keep an eye out for Okamoto. All right, right about the halfway point here at number 16, I've got Kyle Manzardo of the Cleveland Guardians. Nice little year for Manzardo. They finally gave him the full playing time, and once they did, kind of turned their season around, and it turned his season around too. Manzardo, 142 games, 27 homers, 19 doubles, 70 RBIs, 234 average, 313 on base, 455 slug for a 768 OPS, and OPS plus at 110. Manzardo had always mashed in the minors, but you didn't really see it that first season when he came up with Cleveland. Last year, though, so much better. Again, big barrel rate guy, not the best athlete, not really good at the first base position, but in Cleveland, pulling the ball like he does as a left-handed hitter, it's a match made in heaven. He's going to hit 30 home runs next year as long as he's healthy. For the 15th best first baseman in Major League Baseball, Ryan O'Hearn. O'Hearn had a really good year. Third straight season. Like since 2023, O'Hearn has just kind of mashed, and this year he continued to do it. While it wasn't as good in San Diego as it was in Baltimore, the final numbers for the season, 144 games, 17 homers, 21 doubles, 63 RBIs, hitting 281 with a 366 on base. That's fantastic. 437 slug, 803 OPS for an OPS plus at 125. Absolutely destroys right-handed pitching. Hit ball hard, get on base, play good defense, all the makings of a really solid first baseman. Next up at number 14, the Pasquatch, Vinny Pasquantino. Vinny had a really good season. He got hot towards the second half of the year, made some adjustments, and you're starting to get excited about the Pasquatch again. Finished the year with 32 homers, 33 doubles, 113 RBIs, hitting 264 with a 323 on base, 475 slug for an OPS at 798, and in that ballpark, that's an OPS plus for 120. Pasquantino can hit. He may not be the on-base machine that he was when he first came up, but the power is legit now, which is huge for his game. He's driving in runs, hitting the ball with authority. Got to work on that first base defense, which is why he doesn't crack that top 10, but in terms of counting numbers, the Royals absolutely love this guy, and he is a really good ball player. But ever so slightly ahead of him at number 13, in the same division, former number 1 overall pick, Spencer Torkelson. I can't quit this guy. I do love Spencer Torkelson as a player. He just hits the ball so hard. He gets on base. Does he strike out a lot? Yes. Because he hit 31 homers, 27 doubles, 78 RBIs, 240 average, 333 on base, 456 slug for a 789 OPS plus at 117. Basically the same offensive player as Pasquantino, better defensively, better barrel rates and exit velos. That's why he gets the slight nod, even though there might be a little more consistency in Pasquantino's game. I do think we really saw Torkelson fully break out this season, and you can kind of write him in for, I think, 30 and close to 100 every year from now on. Torkelson's really good. Dropping out of the top 10 this year at number 12, I've got Wilson Contreras of the St. Louis Cardinals. Really good ball players just at this position, man. There are a lot of really good first basemen. Contreras had a great season. 20 homers, 31 doubles, 80 RBIs, hitting 257 with a 344 on base, 447 slugging for a 791 OPS plus at 123. While I always loved him behind the plate, I think first base is definitely a better home for him. He was one of the best defensive first basemen in baseball last season. The bat speed's incredible. The barrel rates are great. He kind of fell off at the end of the season, but overall, Contreras is a really good player. Just missing on the top 10 though, because again, this top 10 is loaded, guys. Because even at number 11, just missing on the top 10, Tampa Bay Rays first baseman Jonathan Aranda, which is kind of crazy to keep him outside of the top 10, but that's how good it is. Aranda is a StatCast savant darling. His page is so fun to look at. Hits the ball hard, gets on base a ton, hard hit rate through the roof, barrel rate through the roof, played pretty good defense at the first base position too, and the numbers on the season were great. Now, Aranda only played in 106 games last year, but 14 homers, 22 doubles, 59 RBIs, hit 316 with a 393 on base, 489 slug for an 883 OPS plus at 146. I might not have ranked him high enough. I did take some of these other guys ahead of him just because I want to see a little more from Miranda. But if he puts up these numbers again, I mean, you're looking at a borderline top 5 first baseman. It's just a much smaller sample than these other players that I'm going to mention. Also, playing in that ballpark, it's a little weird. It's Yankee Stadium dimensions with a much shorter fence in terms of height. Want to see how he does at the Trop. Getting the top 10 started at number 10, I've got Josh Naylor of the Seattle Mariners. Can we give a little round of applause for Josh Naylor? Just a good baseball player, very underrated in the league. I think the top 10 spot is a perfect place for him. He hits 20 home runs a year, 30 doubles, drives in 100 runs. He was a high average guy this year. Normally, he's like 250, 260, but he does get on base, 295 average, 353 on base, 462 slug for an 816 OPS. The crazy thing about him, he stole 30 bags last year, which is insane because he's really slow. Naylor's a perfect fit in Seattle. Exactly what they needed. A little more pop in that lineup, puts the ball in play, plays good defense at first. He really is just a good first baseman. Shout out Josh Naylor. Next up at number 9, I've got Ben Rice, aka Ben Arose of the New York Yankees. Now this guy's savant page. This is sick. It's just all red. Take a look at it. It's all red, guys. Barrel rate, one of the highest in the league. Chase rate, one of the best in the league. Hard hit rate, one of the best in the league. Exit velos, one of the best in the league. Ben Rice is so good. It's crazy the development he made. He was ranked 30th last year, and for good reason. He stunk. 2025, completely different year. Ben Rice last year in 138 games, 26 homers, 28 doubles, 65 RBIs, hitting 255 with a 337 on base, 499 slug, OPS at 836, OPS plus at 131. The underlying stuff's crazy. Like, he's just going to mash forever as long as he's healthy. Ben Rice is good. New position ranking for Rafael Devers, coming in as the 8th best first baseman in the league, in my opinion. Reason being, at the end of the day, I still think he's a DH, but at first base, he's not going to cause that much issues. It's going to be hard for him to put up crazy counting numbers playing in San Francisco. Still had a great year, though. Funny enough, played in 163 games, 35 homers, 33 doubles, 109 RBIs, hit 252 with a 372 on base, 479 slug, 851 OPS for an OPS plus at 140. In San Francisco, the numbers did go down a little bit, like he was going off in Boston and then cooled off slightly in San Fran. Again, at the position, it's really tough, and in that ballpark, it's always difficult, which maybe makes him even more valuable, but I am just slightly putting the guys ahead of him. Learning that new position in that ballpark's tough, but Rafael Devers, like, he's so good. I still can't believe the Red Sox traded him, but also maybe they made the right move. Is that weird? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. I still would never have done it. Next up at number 7, let's throw some respect on Michael Busch's name. Michael Busch, great year. Great season from Michael Busch. He had a really good year in 2024. Built on that, was even better in 2025. 155 games, 34 homers, 25 doubles, 90 RBIs, hitting 261 with a 343 on base, 523 slug, 866 OPS for an OPS plus at 147. Woo, that's good. That's really good. Similarly to all the good hitters, he hits the ball really hard, which is kind of crazy because his bat speed is not high at all. But he'll go to opposite field. He hits the ball to all fields for power, good barrel rates, good exit velos, patient at the plate, walks more than average, and seems to just always hit a big home run for the Cubs when they need it. Really like Michael Busch here. Nice bump up here to number 7. Just missing on the top 5 at number 6, I've got newly acquired Baltimore Orioles first baseman Pete Alonso. Still feels disgusting for me to say out loud. Last season, Pete was phenomenal for this team. Now, defensively, he was arguably the worst first baseman in all of baseball, -9 OAA, and obviously he's not a great base runner, but that's not why you have Pete Alonso. He's there to mash. Alonso on the season, 162 games, 38 homers, 41 doubles, 126 RBIs, hitting 272 with a 347 on base, 524 slug for an 871 OPS, OPS plus at 144. Mash, mash, mash. Close to 40 home runs a year, 120 RBIs. He's a premier power hitter in the game. If he could ever learn how to play the first base position, might be a top 3 guy, but because the defense is so bad, have to keep him out of the top 5 right now. I'm gonna miss you on the Mets, Pete. Regardless of what team you're on, still a borderline top 5 first baseman. Getting the top 5 start at number 5, I've got Matt Olson. Matt Olson had a nice bounce back season in 2025. One of the few players on the Braves that actually played well. Also crazy, Matt Olson has played every game of every season since he's been an Atlanta Brave. 162 every single year. That's crazy. While the power numbers have never bounced back to the 2023 heights, he still hit 29 homers with 41 doubles, 95 RBIs last season. Hit 272 with a 366 on base, 484 slug for an OPS at 850, OPS plus at 138. He's really good. Like, there's just no way around it. And defensively, fantastic glove. Big Matt Olson guy. He's a really good ball player. It's just that ever so slightly ahead of him, I'm going to go with Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's really good. Last year was like one of the worst hitting seasons that we've seen from him in a while, and it was still 129 OPS plus, 29% better than league average. The year before that, he was 146, 145, 146, 179. This is the epitome of consistency. 132 games last year, 27 homers, 32 doubles, 75 RBI, stole 12 bases, hit 261 with 357 on base, 487 slug for an OPS of 844. Harper is just really good. I wonder if they'll keep him at first base in the future. He plays it pretty well. All the underlying stuff's great. I don't know if Mr. Raw Milkman looks the healthiest right now. I don't know if you guys have seen those TikTok videos. He looks sick. Maybe you should drink some regular milk. But that's not what we're ranking here. We're ranking how he is as a first baseman, and I do think he's the 4th best in Major League Baseball. Same exact spot as last year. At number 3, I've got Freddie Freeman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Freeman, it's like he's still so good. We might be seeing a more human version of Freddie Freeman now, but he's still so good. It's crazy to think he's able to keep up peak production like he has at age 35, and like a bad season for him is an 869 OPS, kind of like it was 854 the year before. Like, he's still so ridiculously good. He's just not probably the best first baseman in baseball anymore. Still, 147 games, 24 homers, 39 doubles, 90 RBIs, even stole 6 bases, 295 average, 367 on base, 502 slug for an 869 OPS. That's Freddie Freeman, first ballot Hall of Famer. Just missing out the number 1 spot at number 2, could be the best first baseman next year, Mr. Nicholas Kurtz. Nick is so good, man. Oh my God, what a rookie season he had. I couldn't put him at number 1 because still, he is playing half of his games at the minor league ballpark because of the athletics. That being said, there's nothing to take back from Mr. Kurtz because he hits the ball extremely hard. He gets on base a ton. He doesn't chase. He barrels it up. Top 7% in Major League Baseball for max exit velo. Top 8% for average exit velo. Top 8% for hard hit rate. Top 10% for walk rate. All the expected numbers love him, and the stats were crazy. 117 games, 36 homers, 26 doubles, 86 RBIs, hitting 290 with a 383 on base, 619 slug for an OPS at 1,002. That's an OPS plus of 173. Ridiculous. MVP votes, Rookie of the Year, Silver Slugger. He was the best first baseman in baseball last season, but because this other guy has a little more track record, I had to put Mr. Kurtz at number 2. Because coming in at number 1 again for the 2nd straight season, best first baseman in baseball is Vlad Guerrero Jr. What he did in the postseason was absolutely insane. Put the Blue Jays on his back. He's only 27 years old next year, and the numbers are crazy. Like, was it a down year offensively from the prior year? Yes. Is it still ridiculously good? For sure. 156 games, 23 homers, 34 doubles, 84 RBIs, hitting 292 with a 381 on base, 467 slug for an 848 OPS plus a 133. And then what he did in the postseason was crazy. What I think he's going to do next season's crazy. The defense was better at first base than it had been in the past. And again, the under the hood stuff are literally insane. There's just not many guys who hit the ball harder than him. He's literally in the top 1%. So I love Vladdy. I think you can make an argument that it's between him and Mr. Kurtz for the top spot. But to me, I'm going to give a guy with a little bit more longevity, Vlad Guerrero Jr., best first baseman in baseball. So there they are, my first base rankings. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe as well so you don't miss out on any of the rankings as well as any of the baseball content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media. GiraffeNeckMarc links are in description. You could talk more rankings with me there. That's where I'll wrap it up. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video, and this was yesterday's ranking. In case you missed it, it's catchers. Check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate the amazing support as always, and I'll catch you tomorrow for the second base rankings. Bye.